to be a better man. What to do when you ask that question? I think there's three things to how to be a better man. Well, there's more to it than that, right? But let's just start off with three so that we don't make this like a 3 hour seminar. Technology. Anyway, squirrel. Number one is that you want to be consistent. Consistent, persistent, that's stalking. Consistent when it comes to showing up. Okay. A lot of people, they lose friendships by not being consistent in hanging out with friends, for example. Not being consistent when it comes to being honest with people. Consistency is what people value. That's how you maintain friendships. How to get to having friendships. And this goes into many aspects beyond just platonic, but also when it comes to romantic and also your career, because your career is all about people. Life's about people. People get confused and think, well, my work will speak for itself. No, it won't. People are important. I'm an introvert. I didn't want to hear that for a long time. So when it comes to people being a good communicator, I think that's number one that can help men scale mountains. Because a lot of us, you want to talk about how you can rocket past being the best man in the room, especially when it comes to your career, being a good communicator. And of course, you know what I'm about to say, active listening. Yeah, active listening. And that just means being able to ask questions when you're listening besides just sitting there and saying, yeah, okay, yeah, okay. Like actually paying attention to what they're saying and then asking, thoughtful questions to keep the conversation going, not being like most people and just waiting for your turn to talk, not really paying attention, and then you get to talk. No, right? People see through that. You see through that, right? And it's very similar to how people want consistency in a good way, about showing up for people the right way in a consistent manner. They expect that also when it comes to conversation, being an active listener. And also, of course, you want to be good at verbal communication. And you can have, I know this is cringe, but Toastmasters and other groups that you practice on presenting. And I know some of you might be thinking, okay, so let me get this straight. You want me to give like a PowerPoint presentation when I'm talking to people about the weather or like sports? No. It's about understanding how to effectively communicate because unfortunately, just like digital isolation is a thing, look that up, Google search digital isolation, you have people are losing their attention span because of all these wonderful digital devices and social media. And, it's just causing us to lose our attention span. So understanding how to communicate in an effective manner is another important thing. So that's two things. So being a good communicator, being consistent, but also being a better man means being courageous to be honest. The world is filled with liars and grifters and, people that will lie because they feel that that's safe, and they'll hide away because they feel that that's safe and not really show their true selves. And people see through that. So people value honesty. And you don't have to tell them everything about yourself, like, where you keep your car keys at night. But you have to be transparent with more that you're comfortable with. And again, it's not about telling them you're social, but a good example is being more expressive in the moment of how you feel about something or what you think about something. It doesn't have to be religion or politics, nothing explosive, but it can be something, even if this is minor, is like a going back to like a light conversation, like a sports team. I've heard people lie. This is very common. I've heard men lie about liking sports in general. When that's like, I've known you forever, you don't like sports, but you'll start talking about your favorite sports team because you just want something to talk about. And at least you know enough about your local team to say something, right? Like, don't lie about that stuff. Find something else to talk about and have a good conversation about something real that you care about, right? And that's going to go a longer way than lying about something and then getting found out later and what's going to happen in that relationship. going to go strong, right? So those are the three things that I think are a good foundation. There's many more, of course, but being a good communicator, where you actually pay attention to what people are saying, where you take the time to hone that skill, because communication, being a good one, it's a skill set that a lot of us don't take the time to practice. Number two is being consistent when it comes to showing up for people. That's how you maintain those relationships. How you get there again is through communication and being a good one. But maintaining it is about consistency and showing up for people. And then number three, which is I think the toughest, is being courageous enough to be honest and not where you have to sit there and tell your secrets to people and what's always on your mind. You got to be smart, but to be brave enough where you're not always hiding yourself away from people. And this is why it's important to form valuable relationships through being a good communicator, so that you're not having mindless conversations with people. So you're going out of your way to have meaningful conversations with people by being in the moment. And then you work on maintaining those conversations through consistently showing up for people. So you build a relationship. So then you can have relationships you trust, where you can confide in people, which men need. And don't hide yourself away from those relationships. Now, when it comes to talking to your boss, wait a minute. You know what I mean? Now, don't sit up there and be like, well, now's the time to be honest about how I really think about them at the Christmas party. But for men, a lot of us are living in such isolation that we're not taking the time to really work on our skill set. That when you hear about being a high value man, it's about chasing money and women and things that can end up being a shallow life. And it's not men are not taught how to actually work on skill sets like communication that can help them build meaning in their life. Because unfortunately, as an introvert, I said unfortunately, I'm an introvert to the T, life is about people, whether you like it or not. And you have to have someone in your life. And I know some people take that the wrong way. What do you mean I got to get married? Dude, didn't say that. Does that mean romantic relationships? No, it doesn't. But someone. It can just be a friend or two if you're brave enough. But that's my point. And I know you've seen content of people that will talk about how it's so great to be alone. No, it's not. Now, some people will take that with romantic isolation. I don't agree with you. But the problem with men especially is that it can go beyond. It can start off with being isolated on purpose because you don't want to deal with a romantic partner, but then it leaks into your overall social life. That's what I'm also getting at. We are just alone overall, and that's extremely unhealthy. And you're never going to have the motivation then to really practice on what? Your skills and other aspects of how to have better relationships with who? Your boss or your coworkers, when you don't take the time to have good personal relationships. That doesn't make any sense. So again, one thing can lead to the other in a bad way. So I think to be a better man, again, practice those three things, and you can go a long way through being a better communicator, being more present with people, by being consistent, and showing up with people consistently, and then being brave enough to be honest more often than not, so you can, not just be a better man, but have a better life. But tell me what you think. Drop a comment. Please like so this message can get out there, and subscribe. This is a men's wellness channel that is built to help men just have a safe space to talk and shoot the shit like this. Have a good one.